conversation now.
Sit back down.
I'm sat.
Guess what, Morgan? We're sat.
We're seated.
Okay.
Y'all,
We're sat.
we are sat. This time yesterday, we
Wow.
were in Dallas, Texas.
We were in Texas.
And here we are.
We're back in the KY.
Back in the KY. So we're filming on a Thursday. Funny story. We thought we were going to film a podcast down there.
Listen, y'all. There was no time.
There was no time.
We have every content trip, which this one was a little different, but every trip we take, we have
plans
we
that we
set
think
the bar.
we're
I'm going to do a whole travel vlog. I always say that. I'm going to do a vlog. We're going to do a podcast episode.
Veronica.
We're going to design and edit on the plane.
And on the plane, we're going to be sat with this
None
thing
of
when we
that
come back
ever
down.
happens because I don't know about you all, but working on an airplane is almost impossible. I think it's designed that way so you fully just relax because like you're literally in the sky. And so it's like, you know what? Quit trying to work.
Is it because of is it reduced oxygen?
To me, I think it's like, okay, if I get this laptop out
That
and my
pressure that you
editing
feel in your
elbows are
hand.
out, and then I'm like, this gentleman over here is going to feel like he's got to watch what I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh, is this annoying? Because like the click over and over. And then I just think it's a courtesy thing to not like have the elbows out going.
No, I get that.
And I just, I want to read a book.
And with me, with my motion sickness, I did good to read the book on the plane.
And then I'm thinking, if someone had their tray table down with a Diet Coke and then there's turbulence and it spilled over to my laptop, I was thinking all of these things.
Diet Coke turbulence, you got
And
to
so I
think
thought,
about.
you know what? We will survive without
We
me
will survive.
editing
Wait a minute.
for the 2 hours. What?
The biggest news of the week, of the month, it's the beginning of June, people, and tragedy has struck.
I don't know where we're going with this.
They're already removing the Twilight movies from Netflix.
Twilight is being removed.
I don't know why that just popped in my head. I
from
had to stop all other
Netflix.
talks. Did we not just say, you guys,
That
they've
was the
added all the
time.
Twilight movies to Netflix. They're all on there now. We just, 2 episodes ago?
Yeah.
We were talking about it. So it's been, a good 30 days that it's been on there?
What is that about? What's the lore? Are they trying to just lure in people to get their subscriptions back and then rip it out from under their feet? I don't know.
That just seems, I have seen zero marketing
counterproductive.
to tell me that the Twilight movies are on Netflix. I just found out for myself. I went
No,
on there and it said
said recommended for you, and I thought, you know what? You know me.
And now they're leaving soon.
Leaving soon.
I was like, what in the world? There was a whole line of
Trash.
Just added. And then Troy, rolled up one. And I saw Breaking Dawn Part 2 and it said leaving soon. And I'm like, surely not. And then he scrolled down again and then it had like suggested for you or past watches or whatever, Eclipse, leaving soon. And that's when I texted her and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but
The
all of the
audacity.
Twilight movies say leaving soon.
Why?
It's a cruel prank.
What if it's cash bar?
How dare they?
How dare they?
So I really want to know. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to ask Sheila later to tell me, find out why Twilight movies are already leaving Netflix.
I don't know.
I'm in a personal uproar.
The good news is we already did a full rewatch.
We already did we got our full rewatch.
But I even
in.
thought to myself, I might do that again. Now I don't have time.
Now you don't have time. I don't know what leaving
I have
soon
zero
means.
time. And then what if they pull the plug in the middle of the rewatch? Then I got to get out my DVDs.
Oh no, you got to go back to Prime and buy it.
Oh, not doing that. I
Rent
would get
it.
out the DVDs.
The funny thing is, speaking of this trip that we just went on, and then me having a grievance with Netflix and Twilight, that's not even, I was like, oh, well, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to open the pod with? I have a different grievance.
Of course you do. And we have a plenty.
Oh, we have plenty, but this is one. Maybe it's more of a PSA. I'm getting ready to help everybody out there. Fellas, if you're female, if your life partner,
If
your significant other, your main chick, just was out of town for work, out of town for any reason, especially plane travel.
Especially plane travel.
I don't care why she was out of town. If she's been gone for a couple days and she's coming back home. You get an ETA text. Here's when I'm going to be back. Oh, sweet.
You have laundry done.
I don't even care about that.
Oh, I do.
If I send you a text that says my ETA between 6 and 6:30, I'm hungry. Don't take
our
that
bodies
as
are living on gas station and airport food.
Don't take that as a sign to find yourself dinner at 5 o'clock. And then when she texts you and says, on way, you hungry? No, just ate.
No, just ate.
Babe. And
My husband said, I'm going to have a protein shake for dinner. And I thought,
so you didn't have a good dinner.
I didn't eat dinner.
This isn't me being spoiled or anything. I'm not saying come cater to me. I've just been out of town. It's not like I was worked like a dog while I was gone or didn't eat while we were gone. But I've been gone. You know, Piper was at cheer
have a little date
for a little bit.
night.
Just let's go to dinner. You know, let's go sit at the bar and have a beverage and a hot meal. Nope, just ate.
You had to eat Kraft
Troy-
mac and cheese.
Troy, I love you. And I didn't say anything to you when I got home.
So that's what the girls is for.
That's what the girls is for. But I got home and he was watering my ferns.
Oh.
And I was
I
like,
thought they were
"Oh."
fake.
Not the ones out by the pool.
Okay.
The ones on the front porch are fake.
Okay.
The ones out by the pool, I actually got real greenery.
Ooh.
And so he was out there with his shirt off, watering my ferns. And I'm like,
Okay.
you are forgiven.
All is forgiven.
You're forgiven. But still, though, in the future,
Just remember.
when your female is coming home from several days away, make sure you're ready to. What if she's going to want to go have a little date night, whatever your setup is. Just be ready for her to be like, I want to do something with you because I've been gone for a couple days.
Right. Gosh, our trip was great though.
It was great.
We got a little book on the airplane.
We got an airplane.
We read
got
it the same
book in
time.
the airport, and we read it at the same time.
Lauren got it too, but she was so thrilled to watch a show in peace, which I totally get that. So she never cracked the spine of that book.
I don't even think she knows what color the cover is on that book. She was you don't have to do much to make Lauren giddy. And when she didn't have headphones with her. And
No.
at the same time we bought the book, she was like, I'm going to go ahead and get some headphones. I don't have any with me. And then, so we're walking to our
Gate.
and she's like, y'all, I mean, I've got my headphones. What can I do? And I'm like, well, download something from Netflix. And she was like, I can download a show.
Yeah.
And then it downloaded and she was able to get sat with the show.
She
and
watched
she was like,
Ransom Canyon.
She was like, y'all, I love this so much. Just being able to watch a few episodes of a show without
Uninterrupted.
a child in her bed, without
get
needing
it.
to make sure that it's a show or, movie that
It's
the kids can
appropriate,
watch.
even though Ransom Canyon is, in my opinion, a little too
family
clean.
friendly.
A little too family friendly.
I've never seen it, but it sounds like something I would enjoy. Or maybe I
think
would.
you would like it.
Is it basically like the book that we just read on the plane?
Sort of. Think Western and way less
Oh,
R-rated.
fart in a can, man.
I know.
Anyway,
But the actors are good. The music's good. All
it
that.
was. I loved reading the book with you at the same time, especially on the first flight. On the flight there, we weren't sitting together, but we started it.
middle and middle on Rosa Park.
On the ride back home, we were sitting next to each other.
Lauren
And so
was
we
right
were
in front of
literally
us.
pretty much like
First
page
of
for
all,
page.
I don't understand how you read so fast. I started before you on the original starting the book. I was like, oh, I'm going to be like, I don't know, 20 or so pages ahead of her. And I leaned over and I was like, what page are you on? You were like, no. And I was like, she's 20 pages ahead of me. And I started way before you did. I don't know how. And then we got towards the end there and you were just, I was like, oh my gosh.
Left and right, girl. Left and right.
But I thought it was up and down.
That's not the right way.
But so I probably didn't absorb the rest of that book because I was so panicked.
You didn't have to rush. We
I
were,
had
we
to
were
rush.
close. I was only like a page ahead of you there at the
Because
on the
I
plane
was-
ride home. You were booking it.
I was
literally.
I was
You were booking
speeding.
that thing.
I was just going quotes.
But it was
Middle, scan. It was a really good book, though. I liked it.
It was a good book.
We read Simply Mine by Laura Pavlov.
Yes, it was. We guessed the whole thing minus a couple. There was a couple things we
Little
thought were going to
things that
come
we
back
didn't.
around, and they didn't. But it was so fun because on the ride there, obviously I'm not sitting next to her. I can't send her a text because we're I did do airplane mode.
Thank you.
But I went ahead and typed out all these texts as I was thinking my thoughts throughout the book. And so
was
they
so
all
great.
sent to her whenever we were able to take our phones off airplane mode. There's so many things. And you guys know what we're talking about. We're talking about not the Dollar Tree romance novels, that level, but we're not talking black cover, hardcore, dark romance novels.
No.
We're talking
That
those,
little happy medium.
the little happy medium, small town. Do you know what the name of this town was? Are you ready? Honey Mountain. I
Apparently there's
lovingly
a
refer
whole
to it as Honey Nut Mountain.
Honey Mountain series.
There's a whole Honey Mountain series
And our biggest grievance was they just caught a flight from the Honey Mountain Airport to
go
Cancun.
to Cancun. Literally. And not to spoil anything. It's not spoiling anything at all.
No,
Towards
you know
the-
what's happening.
You know what's going to happen. Towards the end of the book, they go on a trip. Literally a line of, I wish I had it with me to show
Me
and
too.
reference.
It was a gorgeous
Just
book, by the way. Sprayed
Sprayed
edges.
edges. Kudos to the
Kudos.
Columbus Airport for having
Columbus Airport. Shout out to
that.
you.
Literally the line. We hopped the next flight out of Honey Mountain
To Cancun.
to Cancun. I'm like, there ain't no, well, number one, Honey Nut Mountain is not big enough for an airport. Number two, it seems like an airport that, it seems like you're off on an island, like off the coast of Washington, and you just need to charter a plane to get to land.
I
get
think
inland.
what was annoying is like we were literally on an airplane. We had to drive all the way to Columbus to get to Texas, and we couldn't just fly out of Flatwoods, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like very on our mind.
Yes.
So maybe it wouldn't have annoyed us if we weren't on a plane. But I will say reading next to each other and being able to just be like
Snicker
"Oh,"
at the same
and
times
be
and
giddy.
stuff like
it was
that.
so fun.
It was
so
fun. It was funny. But just still though, there's almost like okay, are you getting ready to write a small town romance with a either pink, red, or light blue cover? Here are things that you have to say in the book. And I'm not, this is no shade. We
No
love
shade.
the book and I love all books like that, but
Me
it
too.
is, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It is literally, you have to, okay.
It's like playing bingo.
Did I say, just this? Check. Did I say
Check.
this? Check. Is she cute and little and takes care of the guy's grandma because he's out of town living big city dreams? Check.
Do they not know how to have a real conversation? Check.
Is there a guy that she doesn't really like, but he kind of likes
he's
her
really interested in her, but
and
like
it makes the other guy really mad? Check.
yeah.
Is there a best friend that she thinks they're going to have an issue with them dating, so they don't tell her that they're kind of together? And
But
then
then
at
the
the
best
end,
friend's
she was
like,
like,
I
I already knew, and I love this so much.
I love it, and I
Check.
knew it, and
But loved the book.
loved it.
I did.
It was delightful.
Not so much. I didn't really need a palate cleanser before starting something else because I'm like 4 chapters into the 4th book of a series that you just started.
I just started, but I'm not sat with it yet. I mean, I'm
I thought you were.
intrigued.
You're intrigued.
I'm not
Okay.
ready to take off with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish. Say you'll remember me. I started that. I have like 80 pages left in that book, and then I'll go back to this one.
I just needed something to get me back in the reading game.
I get that.
Just my brain hasn't been with it. Even though I read to escape, let me just not.
There
think
hasn't
about
been enough
anything.
time to escape.
There really hasn't.
Lots
And
going
even
on.
When I normally read in bed before going to sleep, and I lay down and I haven't really had time to doom scroll throughout the day, and I'm like, man, this is like my time to scroll TikTok. I'm gonna scroll TikTok.
Exactly.
But now I'm excited, and as soon as I put that book down, I did open the app for the next book, and I read a couple pages, and I'm like, I'm kind of done reading on the plane, but I am ready to. But these next 4 days,
We've got a lot.
who's going to have time? We have so much going on. By the time this airs, everything that
Our
we have
collab
going
will
on
be-
will be done.
Will be launched. So we did a collab with influencer Sarah Litt, which is very exciting. That's why we flew to Dallas.
That's why we flew to Dallas. She is a Texas girly. Used to be a California girly. Now she's a Texas girly. So dang sweet.
So nice. So gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
We had so much fun with the
Yes.
shoot.
Yes.
We loved getting all the things together. We loved working with them. The ride home, we went in and out. It was so exciting.
Yes, the whole experience was great. I
was
think
all
one
great.
of my favorite parts, besides the content that we got, because
which
she
you've
was
seen it.
she was so beautiful to work with, and just she knows what to do. This is what she does. The pictures that I have, I can't stop looking at them.
I know.
I'm like, gosh, you were laughing when I took this picture because you were having fun, and I love knowing that. I loved that. I've been following her on Instagram 2 years now, maybe. I love that. And I've seen her kids. She's got 7 kids.
Wow.
We rolled up. I haven't had my Red Bull yet. I opted for protein first.
I'm knee-deep
We
in
rolled up
Alani.
at her home, and she just welcomed us in with open arms. Her kids are rollerblading through.
Quite literally rollerblading through. And I was jealous. I was like, I want to rollerblade.
I want to rollerblade in my house.
Yeah.
And I already knew them all. I'm like, I've seen you. Sarah comes around the corner, gives us all a big hug. And I was just immediately like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was so fun.
I won't say I wasn't fangirling. I was just, I'm
a new follower of her because I wasn't within this whole realm.
You weren't in on the lore yet.
I wasn't in on the lore, but she got me with the reel of her having her baby literally outside the hospital
doors.
Craziness.
You
know what? Props to you, girl.
She's awesome. All of her kids so well behaved. That was the first thing I told Troy when I got home. He was like, so how did it go? I said, Sarah's awesome, simply amazing. Her kids, you would think that 7 kids and we had all the girls, her 5 girls in some shots too. You would think, oh gosh, did that just make it crazy? They were so great.
They were so great.
And they knew when to turn it on. Mm-hmm. She lined them up and they know what to do. And I loved seeing that. I love the pictures that I have of all them together.
Her house is gorgeous. The yard was gorgeous.
Oh, yes. We used her backyard because she just has this beautiful, perfect lake house looking backyard.
Dallas just kept giving us presents. We got La La Land coffee. I didn't know
excited. What La La Land was. If you follow us on TikTok, you already
saw
our videos.
But I was so excited to go there. Mm-hmm. We were excited to go to In-N-Out. We went to the Restoration Hardware rooftop restaurant. Hidden little gem, by the way. Maybe it's not a hidden gem for the people that live there. But I didn't know that the furniture store had a restaurant.
If I was just walking by,
I would have thought,
unless I would have known, okay, I'm looking, there's a rooftop restaurant around here.
I would have thought it was like a private event space or something. It was so gorgeous.
It could have been somebody's house, honestly, from the outside, like a hoity-toity townhome.
Yeah.
It looked like a place that I'm like, I'm not welcome here.
But we did, and we went, and it was delicious. And everyone was dressed up and so cute.
And taking photos.
And I was like, can I just
photos
go?
That were being taken in there. All these Instagram husbands and boyfriends were in there getting these shots of their females.
I want to track them down. We need to search the hashtag of that restaurant and see if we find those people.
We do.
I want to see their photos.
And
we were fully convinced someone was about to get engaged because he had flowers sent to the table. He had champagne sent to the table. They were sitting really close. They were sitting side by side in the booth.
They didn't have any wedding rings on. She didn't have an engagement ring on already.
He took her outside. We were all like,
every time they went outside, we were like, is this it? And it was so funny because the table to the left of me, you're right. At one point, they started like looking around too. Like,
I think we got them happening? All in on the story.
We got everybody in on like, what's going on.
They're getting engaged. I don't think
they didn't get engaged. So
maybe they did later. I'm going to tell myself that.
He was waiting for sunset.
Correct. It was 2 on the nose.
2 on the nose.
He was like, I'm going to propose when we get in the car.
Yeah, I want her to have a full belly. I can't do it our first trip out on this patio.
No, maybe the second promenade.
It was super fun.
It was so great.
It was good.
Not too many travel grievances. Everyone kept their leg in their own holes on the airplane.
Well, we were in the bathroom waiting on our luggage, and Lauren had a grievance.
Yeah,
there was a little scuffle.
Some gentleman almost got in a fight over baggage claim.
Over. I'm standing here waiting on my bag, bro.
Get out of my way, bro.
And
everyone's waiting on their bag.
Everybody's waiting on their bag, and I guarantee I wasn't there. Maybe I would have a different opinion if I would have seen it like Lauren did. But I'm just kind of like, everybody's wanting to stand as close as they can so they can grab their bag quickly. We've all been traveling. It took longer than necessary, I think, for the bags to arrive.
Mm-hmm. It did.
We had carry-ons, but of course.
We were group 8.
We're a full flight today. By the time we get to your boarding group, we're probably not going to have room. If we could have some volunteers to go ahead and check your bag for free, come up and see us at the counter. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So Literally, that's exactly what those announcements sounded like.
Right. I don't know if this is a man or a
And it
woman.
was like-
I don't know really what they're saying.
And then
but they're saying it like this into the, or you get the ones that have too soft of a voice and like a really thick, maybe southern accent.
Today, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have a very full flight.
we need you to bring your check
Everybody
bag.
in the terminal, flying flight 14322 to Dallas. We are a booked flight today, ladies and gentlemen. That means
It's the, okay. And then also on the plane, when they're giving like the safety instructions, or they came over at one point and that's another reason why I don't really like having headphones on the plane.
I wait till I'm sat till it's in the air, and then I put headphones in.
But I'm like, if an announcement comes on, I want to hear it in case there's lore that I need to know.
I need to know the lore.
That's why I like Delta flights, because if you tune into their screens, they pause what you're watching and the announcement comes on.
True, but not all Delta flights have the screens.
But not all Delta flights have the screens. But the same thing on the plane. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to today. Turbulence.
Partly sunny.
Seatbelt sign. Thank you. We're expecting an American flight today. I'll see you when you land. I'll levitate you when you turbulence. You might die.
Oxygen.
Oxygen mask.
Your seat's a light wrapped.
and thank you for flying American. We'll see you in Columbus.
I mean, you're going to stand there and tell me that I'm wrong?
So what's funny is the original flight, they were making those announcements that they needed people to check their carry-ons for free.
We were boarding group 8 because we literally booked this
finalized
flight
it last week,
3 days before I was able to check in for the flight. So of course we were one of the last boarding groups, and the first flight, she said by the time we get to the end of group 5,
it's going to be gone. So I was like, all right, ladies, let's surrender.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
And you know what? I loved it. If there was a connecting flight, I wouldn't have been as willing, but
because you're hoping that it kind of,
I wanted it to come, I wanted the bags to get there. That's why my camera was in there.
I don't really know why I always have that fear, because any other content trip we've
checked a bag.
We've had to check bags. There's been Colorado and West Palm Beach. We checked 3 bags. And everything made it. I don't know why I'm always worried about it.
It's just a thing. Well, for me, it's because it's a camera equipment.
Yes, you had your camera equipment.
But I didn't have to have the awkward... Well, I didn't have to have the awkward feeling of lifting it up because it's heavy. Second, I didn't have to worry if there was going to be a bin. I'm always worried if my bin... I want my bin to be right above my head. Not down there.
And here's my thing. That's not because I want to be lazy and have my thing right above me. I'm not getting in my carry-on during the flight. I don't need it easily accessible. Here's why. So I'm in row 7. Okay. We're boarding group 8. Everything's gone. Where's their bin space? Row 27.
I'm not going back there to go up. So now you're telling me
I've got to wait in line, go back there, hope that by the time all these people get sat,
slowed down.
I want just, if everybody did what they said, set it the way that it's supposed to.
Hang on just a second.
Fix that thing. Put that thing back where it came from.
The spidey senses were going. But you know what, sir? In first class, you can take your garment bag and put it under your seat. You don't need to put it in my bin.
He did.
And if I would have had a bag that I needed my bin for, I would have been irritated. But guess what? I had to check it because of people like you.
It was wild. I'm always like, so everybody has, if you go on the plane with 2 things, your carry-on and a personal item, you hold that personal item until everybody has boarded.
Put it under your seat.
And then
put your thingy up here.
Yeah, but if there's room and you really don't want your backpack under your seat so you can stretch those dogs out, then if there's room above you or super close and nobody else needs that spot, throw your backpack up there. But until everybody has been able to put at least their carry-on luggage that can't go under their seat up there, sit down.
Sit down, sir.
With your personal item. I can't stand when literally people, they're getting on the plane, they've got this big backpack on that's bigger than their carry-on, but hey, who's looking at that bag? And then backpack, throw it up in there, and I'm like, sir,
so you just took someone else's bin space.
Somebody to have to check their bag because you aren't a decent human being.
You know what I wish I would have done as a good closer to our episode today? I could have played the clip of everyone unbuckling their seatbelts the second the plane hits the brakes.
And we said that too. And one guy turned around and looked at me when I said it. And I was like, I'm not going to make eye contact with you because I don't want you to say something to me because you look like somebody who might try to be like, but I'm serious. And I was saying it in a joking way. I looked at you and I was like, it's time, that sound. All at one time, as soon as
I don't know why I'm just getting closer.
All wheels aren't even on the ground yet.
As if you can leave right away.
As if you could outrun me.
As if you could fight me off. It's so stupid. It's just so dumb.
And then literally, we had yet again the flight from Columbus to Dallas.
Yeah.
What happens? Everybody stands up and stands in the aisle, and I've got a crotch in my face.
Again. As per usual.
As per usual.
On a plane. If you didn't hear.
When can I just? Yes, when we went to 30A, you had a crotch in your face.
I had a crotch in my face, and then you had one in yours. We went to, no.
It was this trip.
It was this trip?
You were, because we drove to Nashville.
We drove to Nashville, so it was 30A. Yeah.
It was our own crotches in our faces.
Oh well. Well, we have so much going on in the next 72 hours.
We have a lot of interesting things going on. There's going to be a new face around here. We're growing. So we've had to bring somebody new on. We're excited to meet her, and
we just got lots to do, people.
We got lots to do. We've got the collab launching Sunday. By the time you hear this, it will be the Monday after.
It will still be the Monday after. So everyone shop the collab. It's so cute.
It is so cute.
Mountain Moverz with a Z.com.
It will be there. It'll be rare. You'll know it all
It'll
too
sell
well.
out, so get it while you can.
I mean, it actually might, and that's not just us saying that, because
no, it actually might be sold out already.
We haven't looked.
Who knows? Thank you for getting sat with us.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.